Hey, what's up? It's a Figure Hunter, and today we finally have the heart rate accuracy testing for the Garmin Fenix 7 and the Garmin Epix. Looking at the Elevate 4.0 on a bigger watch and testing it for CrossFit and high-intensity interval training. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing for more, so there is a lot more content to go. So with the new heart rate sensor that is built on the Fenix 7 and the Epix, it is the Elevate 4.0, which is the newest version, which I did also test on the Garmin Venue 2 that came out. The heart rate sensor was also on the 945 LTE, but I wanted to be able to test it in a new method, and we're going to talk about what that method is in a second. I'm so glad this has come to an end. I've also tested all these same workouts versus the Apple Watch, and that'll be a separate video, but I have a new approach to how I'm testing the accuracy to really give it a more strenuous look at the higher heart rate ranges, but also calculate percentage accuracy across the entire workout. Previously, with the Venue 2 testing or the Elevate 4.0 originally on the Venue 2 testing, I only looked at the zone 4 and 5 of heart rate maximum, 80 to 100% of your max heart rate. You know, how much percentage accuracy it had there and the amount of time accumulated, and the 90 to 100% of accuracy, the zone 5. And those are worthwhile metrics because those are the most cardiovascular high-level strain, which flows into your training load, training status, recovery time, all of those basic things. So you want to be able to check accuracy there. So I have a whole new method, and I've done spreadsheets and charts, and we're going to see it all tonight. So we're going to dive in, and I want to even explain why I looked at and how I sort of developed the training, the accuracy measurement. Because when you look at the highest level of accuracy and you're tracking it across time, if you take an example, like let's say the Epix is reading 120 beats per minute and the chest strap or your true heart rate is 160 beats per minute. Now it may appear, if you do the math on that, 120 beats divided by 160 shows a 75% accuracy. It picked up 75% of the heart rate. But if you think about it sort of qualitatively, it actually missed 100% of the evaluation, the heart rate that you need to evaluate your output, your training exertion level, your training effect, your training load, recovery time needed. Because it's at 120 beats per minute, as an example, I'm in like zone 3. At 160, I'm on the cusp of zone 4 to zone 5. And so that would change my aerobic output evaluation. So if it's only picking up that low and it says, hey, it's 75% accurate, in my opinion, it's 0% accurate because it missed the most important parts. So I developed a little video so that you can see how we change and increase the scrutiny on the accuracy. So let's take a look at that and then we'll talk a little bit.
We're just going to give this a shot because the microphone on the iPad is all I can use because it doesn't have the same port. But here's how we're going to reduce or maybe concentrate on a harder measure of accuracy. So if you take a point here, and if we assume this point here is 160 beats a minute, and let's say there's a point here, and we're just going to assume that's 120 beats a minute. So if you were to do the basic math, 120 divided by 160, you would get some level of accuracy as far as a percentage of accuracy for that one point in time. But if we wanted to get a little bit more rigorous on the accuracy, especially at the higher levels, what I've done is I just sort of said that you take this 160, the heart rate off of the chest strap, and you divide it by 2, so that's 80. So we're going to cut out the bottom 80. So all of this is going to be removed from the calculation. So now it's going to be just this differential. So from here, to here, 80. And now we have this 120 down to 80. So this is only going to be 40. So now the accuracy at this point in time is 40 divided by 80, which equals 50%. So the answer here is that this is 50% accurate in this one moment in time. So that way, and I made the 50%, so I tested it at 75% accuracy, and tested it at 25%, I'm sorry, not 75% accuracy, but 75% of the heart rate metrics cut off the top. And then that's the other thing to consider is what if it's over accurate, or not over accurate, but it's got a higher heart rate. So like what if you took this point here and then he compared it at this point here, it might get a result that looks like it's 112% accurate. So the other thing I did is I created a formula that just sort of spits this out and says, no, this is 88% accurate because it is 12% off. So, you don't want some sort of calculation where 1 beat per minute is 108% because it's over the chest strap, and the next beat per minute is 92% because it's under the chest strap. Because if you were to take those 2 moments in time and average them together, it would look like it's 100% accurate. But really, here you have an 8% inaccuracy. So anytime there's a positive, whether it's like 125%, that spits out 75% accurate. If, is 150% accurate, then it's going to result in a 50% accuracy, so that the heart rate that is over the chest strap also counts towards a measure of inaccuracy, so that we are being super nerdy in our calculations. But also so we're getting more statistically.
Okay, so if that wasn't detailed enough, I don't know what was, but I wanted to make it clear and just have a little explanation. Hopefully you skipped over it if you have no interest in that. But there's a lot of workouts we tested. I tested this across 12 workouts, and it also did all these same metrics across the Apple Watch. And there's going to be a separate video to show all of the charts, but you're actually going to see the accuracy results for the Apple Watch. Because the Apple Watch I have done a lot of testing on, specifically when wearing it on the wrist for doing a CrossFit workout. And it is held up incredibly well. I mean, there's just been a lot of testing. And so I took these new metrics, I did a head-to-head comparison, all the same workouts, and you can see the results in this video, but you'll be able to see the charts in a separate video for the Apple Watch itself if you're interested in that. So what we're gonna look at now is we're gonna look at a spectrum of charts, and we're gonna go a little bit quickly so you can see, did it keep up with the flow of the workout? That's what we're looking for. It's not like, can we quantify by visual, because we're gonna look at the data, but did it keep up with the spikes and the decreases? Did it keep up with the intensity coming on strong and then dropping off if there's a rest period? Because that is fundamentally important in a lot of optical heart rate sensors when worn on the wrist and doing a CrossFit workout fail in those areas. So did it keep up with the trends of the overall workout? And then we'll look at the results, the actual accuracy. If you chop off the bottom 50% of the heart rate measure, how much accuracy did it have, and just was it able to keep up with the highest parts of the workout? So let's look at the results and then talk about it. All right, so here we have the first workout, and you can see the lifting portions in the beginning, as well as an intense portions in the middle with breaks in between, or rest periods in between the shorter AMRAPs in the middle. It kept up really well there. You can see it changing the spikes, and we're not actually going to talk too long. Obviously, with all of these charts, the blue is the Epix, the Elevate 4.0 test. The red is always the chest strap, the most accurate as it compares. Here you see, this is a shorter workout. It actually didn't have but it was the most intense portion. So this is just the pocket. You can see the heart rate range is in the 165 zone. So this is just the most intense portion of a blitz workout where I just tracked the actual Metcon. Here's another workout. I see it missed it in the beginning with for some reason this will trend towards overweight or trend towards overly high heart rate is some of the trends I've seen. This one is actually fairly pretty good, although it doesn't keep up with the changes and fluctuations on the lifting portion as well. Here's a workout that actually this is fantastic. This is a fantastic accuracy. You have a decent accuracy here. It missed the beginning of the workout, and obviously you can see the blue line floating a little bit too much towards the middle of the lifting session. Those, in this lifting session, that cardiovascular strain is not as important. So accuracy in those areas is not as important because it doesn't have a strong effect on your training effect, your recovery time, and your training load over time. So here's the Apple Watch versus the Epix. I had a failure on the chest strap because the battery went out, but you can see that it kept up in general with the Apple Watch. And here's the Apple Watch again. This is the Epix again. You can see it didn't keep up with quite the fluctuation towards the tail end. This was like a double Metcon workout. Here again, looks fairly on point, not too bad. Here again, not too bad. So it's keeping up in general. And then you have something like this. Now this is an Apple Watch chart. This is what a lot of the Apple Watch chart. This is just sort of to prepare you for what you're about to see on the results. So again, we're cutting out so that looks fantastic. We're cutting out the differences, obviously where the blue, where it's over, we're reverting that and making it a negative accuracy. And so when you get 50% of
heart rate cut off at the bottom. Accuracy testing. At the very bottom there, you'll see that the Epix Elevate 4.0, which can be assumed as the Fenix 7, is 85% accurate. Now, obviously, the Apple Watch is phenomenal, but 85% accuracy. But the main thing I look at is just also the flow. Did it keep up with the most intense intervals? So with that,
and boom, there you have it, 85%. Now, you might think, and especially compared to the Apple Watch, well, that doesn't look that great. It is highly accurate, in my opinion, from all the devices I've tested, all of the devices, to see if they've kept up with the changes in heart rate intensity, coupled with the ability to overall percentage accuracy, especially with this new, more rigorous testing metric. So if you actually remove the testing metric and you just take it just flat heart rate, 120 divided by 160, you get in the 90s of accuracy. So it's still a very accurate heart rate sensor, even when wearing on the wrist in doing CrossFit or high intensity interval training. The obvious result that we would see is that we should always just wear a chest strap. Why not wear a chest strap or an armband? Then you don't even have to have your watch on your wrist, because a lot of my inaccuracy also might have contributed to the fact that I was wearing hand straps at different times and I had to move the watch up or move the watch around. We know that it now didn't affect the Apple Watch, so there's that. But if it was just kept in a steady state on the wrist, it probably would have gotten a little bit more accuracy. So wear a chest strap, and then you don't even have to put the thing on your wrist. So wear a chest strap as the results. You're going to stay tuned for another Apple Watch sort of full accuracy review in a separate video over the next few days, as well as I'm diving into the Huawei GT3 accuracy testing. With that, it's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.